Hey everyone, I've got something different to talk about today, rather than, of course, my wonderful animal friends. In fact, I'm going to be talking about myself. Oh no! Well, to be more precise, I'm going to talk about my new journaling project. I haven't actually begun said project, so I won't be talking about my journal, but more about the process and about this awesome book that I wanted to share with all of you because it's really pretty exciting, and I think that some of you might get a lot out of it, as I hope to. So a little bit about why I have decided to start journaling. Well, because like a lot of people, I feel that if I'm not doing anything as a regular practice to make my life kind of a reflective experience, then it simply doesn't become one. And instead, I just kind of go about my day, without giving much thought to a higher purpose or meaning, in a sense. And I'm not depressed or anything like that. I just wanted a way to kind of sort through my experience of life. And I went online, I went on Amazon to look for journals with prompts, because it occurred to me that if I just tried journaling, which I've tried a lot over the years, and recently I've not been able to journal. I used to be able to do it in high school, but that's because my main motivation there was how much I hated my peers, and I would sit there at my desk during class all day and scribble frantically in my journal about how much I loathed everyone around me. Those journals, by the way, are not really any fun to read, and I don't know how reflective they really are, because they were always more about the other people around me than about myself, which I suppose says a lot. But that was the last time in my life that I was really able to journal, because I had a heck of a lot to say and nobody to say it to. Now, I also have a lot to say, but not those kinds of things. I more want to reflect upon the meaning of life, I suppose mine in particular, but life in general. So I went looking for a book with prompts, because I figured that would be more effective than my simply trying to, write at random every day or every week or so, because that doesn't seem to work out so well for me these days. It used to, but not anymore. And prompts can be helpful because they give you insightful topics, which, yes, you could come up with on your own, but as a new practice, I thought I would look for something that was, made by someone who's kind of an expert in the field of self-discovery. So on Amazon, there are loads of journals, which are guided prompts and so on, but a lot of them are pretty trivial. They look like those kind of questionnaires that you get sent on Facebook, and when you read the questions, a lot of them are like, what color socks are you wearing? And even though they're called things like The Secret Book of Me, I'm like, well, I don't really want, this documentation of what color socks I'm wearing. I'm looking for something a little deeper. So I discovered this, and the author, I don't know anything about her, but her name is Amber Lea Starfire. And when I read about the author, it seems that in particular, she is a storyteller, and her work is to encourage others to tell their stories. And that sounded like what I was looking for. So I checked out the contents of this. Now, this book is not a journal itself, hence why I had to get a separate journal. It is just the prompts and some info before each prompt. And it does kind of follow a theme for a week, for each week. And it says that you are able to basically start anywhere you want, but I think I'm actually going to just go in order. That will prevent me from avoiding topics that I find uncomfortable, because sometimes when there's discomfort, it's actually where you're going to find the most personal growth. So it's divided into topics. Each one of these subtopics is meant to fill a week. So the first big topic is self-awareness, and here's all the weeks there. Second is authenticity. Then family and relationships, obstacles and opportunities, seasons and holidays, the world, spirituality, and then this moving forward are like ideas of what you can do once you have finished. So in the intro, just a little bit about what journaling is and why one would do it. And then here's a little bit of details on each of the big topics. So I did want to look at those a little bit and kind of show you what types of topics they are, because I'm really pretty excited about them. They sound pretty awesome. So self-awareness is first, and so therefore I'll be doing that first. And it says that those meditations and prompts encourage you to examine your assumptions, belief systems, and emotions in order to expand self-knowledge and awareness. So here are some examples of topics. Topics include how you present yourself to others through the stories you tell, how you learn, understanding how and why you choose perspectives through which to comprehend life, and your underlying attitudes, and so on. So a lot of good insights there about you. And then the next topic kind of builds upon that, as I was hoping that it would, and that big topic is authenticity. I'm going to try to read it through my camera if I can, so that we can sort of read it together. So it says, recognizing your underlying assumptions and belief systems helps you to make choices that support living life authentically on your terms. Authenticity moves the journaling discussion one step deeper. So you can define what that means to you and how it can lead to meaningful action and a passionate life and a full and fulfilled life. And then, moving on from that topic, we've got family and relationships. So you write about, obviously, different aspects of relationships and how you build community, and what friendship means to you, and what family means to you. That one may or may not be a depressing one for a lot of people. It probably will be for me, because I'm finally starting to come to terms with not having really close friends in my life that I can share my innermost feelings with, and I'm sure that when I have to journal on that topic, it's going to be a little bit bleak. But family, though, I feel pretty close to my family these days, so that's better. Next big category, obstacles and opportunities. So it talks about what those may be in your life, how you can overcome obstacles and set boundaries, and let's see, gain a greater understanding of the effects of your limitations and how you deal with them, and how you deal with stress, resistance, helplessness, and lack of control. So again, probably not the most fun topic, but probably some good insights there. Seasons and holidays I look forward to, because I love seasons and holidays, and usually there's a lot of reminiscing involved in all those kinds of things. This one sounds fun too. The world. So it encourages you to reflect on the larger world outside of your own life events and experiences, and explore your political and social beliefs and attitudes. So that sounds like that will be pretty fun to kind of take a broader view. And next up, spirituality. So this is a section that has to do with your own spiritual perception, and it does make sense to have that be your last topic, because it is probably, in a sense, the deepest topic, and it seems to me that these things kind of start with the very, very personal, and perhaps they move outward into larger and larger spheres, until finally, when you're dealing with spirituality, you're kind of approaching your connection to the universe. So I think it makes sense to have that be the final or the culminating topic for the journal. So the first big topic again was self-awareness, and basically how this journal is organized is that it gives you a little bit of a prompt or something to reflect upon, and then it's got 7 bullet points, and each of those is for one day of the same week, if you choose to use it in that way. So here's another week, and so on. So the whole book is filled up like that. And I do intend to use it that way because I like that format. I see no reason to rebel against it. So the first is, what's your story? And it says, it happens all the time. Someone says, tell me a little about yourself, or what do you do? Or you have to introduce yourself to a group. And how we choose to tell what to tell someone or a group really tells a lot about ourselves. This is very difficult to read while holding the camera. But I think it's interesting to kind of ponder how you introduce yourself and what that means about you, what you're choosing to tell, what you're not choosing to tell, and so on. So for me, this will begin on Sunday. So on Sunday, my prompt is this. When someone asks, what do you do? What do you say? And do you begin with, I am, or I work, or some other verb? In what ways do you identify yourself with the work or the things you do on a daily basis? And in what ways do you separate who you are from what you do? So that will be tomorrow. And then Monday's topic is this one. How is what you say to a professional group or individual different from what you say to an informal group or individual? Write about the differences in the ways you present yourself and the reasons for the differences, and so on. Next, this is an exciting one. What would you prefer that no one know about you and why? And then next, conversely, what would you like everyone to know about you and why? And this is also an interesting one. If you could be truly vulnerable, let down your guard and tell your true story to someone you've just met without fear of judgment, what would you say? I like that one. Then, as we approach the weekend, here comes a great big one. How do you define your life? And here are various options there. How does viewing your life from other perspectives inform your storytelling? And then the very last for that week is seemingly shorter. Complete the following sentences, but then you free write for 10 minutes, which is basically just free association, whatever comes into your head, about those answers and how they contribute to your life story. So that's the first week. The next week is the road to learning. And so here are the prompts for the following week. And they do have to do with, of course, learning, your own learning experience and what that means for you. And I'll show one more week just to kind of give you an idea of what types of things are in here. So this is, what's your perspective? And let's see. Kind of strange, read a random sampling of 7 past journal entries. But I suppose you will have double that many, although you would have just written them if you're using this journal. And then you think about your perspective and how it could change over time. So interesting. I like this one. Pick an object. Describe it when viewed up close, extremely up close, and when seen from across the room. So I like things like that, where it's kind of thought-provoking and different. So anyway, that gives you an idea of what types of things are in this journal. I'm pretty excited about it. I did get special pens for the task. So these are our usual standby pens. Both myself and Christopher, we love these, and I got the extra fine tip. And my journal. So I did just pick out a regular 5-star notebook. Nothing too fancy. I actually don't like the fancier notebooks that aren't spiral bound, because being left-handed, they're kind of irritating when my hand keeps hitting the binding. So I find that spiral bound is actually easier to work with for me. And it's just, of course, a regular lined notebook, just a one subject. So I know it doesn't seem like a huge notebook, but I figure if I can fill this up, then I'm well on my way to successful journaling. And I did like the style of this particular one, and I thought it did kind of go well with the book of prompts. So that is the journaling plan. And if you're interested in knowing more about it, or about the book, or about my answers in response to the prompts, just let me know. Otherwise, why, I might just keep it to myself, or maybe not. Depends on what I decide that I would like to share. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye.